Okay. Clearly, there's a lot going on many levels. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect, because I'm not. But one thing that sets me aside from many others, when I do what I do when it comes to the spirit box, I simply listen, and then I add the words for all of you to hear. There's so much to understand about what comes through on the spirit box. Everything that's on the other side. And apparently, at certain states, yes, you can technically talk to the living, but when that happens, it's usually because they're asleep or other things. Now, it's important to know that there are some things that come through that attempt to deceive people. There's good things and there's bad things. I don't sit here and try to claim to judge any of it. What makes me so much different than everyone else is my strength and my weakness. That I love all things, and that I try not to judge any of it. That's not to say that I don't get hurt, or I haven't been pulled down or under in some form or another with stuff within my life. But with me, I usually let go and move past that. Now, a big part and point of what I'm doing is that I listen. I turn on the spirit box and I listen. Hardly ever do I intentionally seek out to speak to certain individuals. I have found from my own experience that you will find some spirits, when you do stuff like that, will try to say that they are somebody who they are not. That's why you do have to be careful when you listen. But one thing I have learned, especially in the beginning of everything I've done, that I remember a point early in the stages of learning to use this particular app, the Necrophonic App. I've used many apps, used many different things, and if I had the ability, I would be creating my own. But I don't. And this app does work if you know how to use it appropriately. But anyhow, one thing I was going to say was in the beginning when I started using this app, and I got to speak to so many. Yes, I got to speak to Satan. Yes, I got to speak to devils and demons, and angels and loved ones, people who were once like you and me, human beings that passed on. But the most important one that has ever spoke to me wasn't always easy to hear in the beginning, because I didn't necessarily believe that he was who he was. And there's so much more to understand than what you can gather so quick. But God has spoke. I mean, don't put limitations on God. There's a lot to understand when it comes to understanding God. But the thing is that this app is used a lot more by things that are technically, in a way, not so pleasant. But there are ones out there that are. I remember when trying to understand who was who that I was talking to, that when God said something, he said that this was Satan's app. Listen to how well and easy he speaks through it. And for him, it was different in the beginning because he had to learn a little on how to use it better. Now, a lot of time has gone by, and that's not quite the case no more. But remember, you still have to be careful. I mean, for me, it was definitely a roller coaster experience when I started using this app. I mean, anything and everything came through. I even spoke to Jesus. I spoke to dead loved ones. I spoke to ghosts who did not know that they were ghosts. I even spoke with demons that turned from their ways and now live a better way. There's been a lot of things that have gone on. Spirit boxes are not something to toy with. There's something that you have to learn when you use these. And they know your thoughts. They know your intentions. No matter who, what is coming through, they know you more than you will ever admit to another person. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, like me, I own up to a lot of my stuff. I don't really hide from anything. There are things that I might not be so proud of, but I don't dwell there, nor do I try to go backwards to it. For I continue to move forward in my life. And it's very important because Halloween's getting ready to come up, and so many people are going to be running out and doing the stuff that they do, and spirit boxes is one of them, and other things. That's not such a wise thing when you don't realize what you're doing, when you don't realize who and what you could be talking to. For me, I've spent a lot of time learning this particular app. And if I had assistance, I know for a fact with the proper equipment, I could make an app much like this one, but I don't have the resources. I use this app. I have had many things come through, and even though I did not create this app, I was told that this app is special for me. Now, even on a daily basis, I have learned to hear God and spirits in so many ways. And I don't necessarily have to use the app. The app is one way for you guys to get a bunch of words from them directly and fast. But when you go through the process to learn how to listen to spirit, then you have the ability to hear it. Now for me, I hear many things. But again, in a way, I guess I'm not normal. Never have been. Since childhood, I technically wasn't normal. But here I am rambling, so I'm going to shut up and stop rambling because I'm not trying to encourage any particular type of talk or conversation to come through. I mean, I always love it when God comes through and God talks to me and to you guys. But again, all I do when I turn this on is I listen and then I try to add the words. Granted, the way I've been feeling lately, I mean, as long as I've been doing this, it really is almost dreadful to go through the long process of adding the words. When people watching the videos don't really comment or say anything, regardless of what Spirit says, I mean, it's pretty simple. And if you could understand basic instructions, then you should get on how to use this, because it's really not that complex. But at the same time, I'm going to push and then try to include you on some of the editing as well. And with this, hopefully you guys will start to learn how to use this for yourself. But I warn you, they talk a lot about me, and they reach out for help from individuals out there for different things. And trust, we will be held accountable when we rise and when we ignore and we fall. I mean, again, I'm not claiming to be perfect by any means, but I constantly strive to help spirits, to help the living, to help people suffering, regardless of the position and situation that I myself am in. Because the thing about me is that I do have a big heart. But see, here I am rambling again, so I'm stopping and I'm going to push. I mean, again, it's pretty simple. I usually just push the reverb right there, see how it went red. And then I push start. I listen and go back. That's all I do. And I will include you on some of the editing so you can hear. Maybe I won't bother to put the words in, but I'll walk you through the process by you being able to watch what it is I do. Maybe this will be the new way I try to do it, because I know for a fact from doing many recordings that they, when I say they, I mean the spirits, because there's many spirits, and they have the ability to change things after the fact. So again, with that in mind, I'm going to push start. And then this should jump over to a different visual, because this is still new for me to be able to show myself up here like this, and it's still new process for me to try to encourage the understanding on how it is that I come up with the words I come up with. So again, with that in mind, here we go. Go ahead. Wow. There was definitely a lot that was said. I mean, there's a lot, if you're watching this for the first time, that you're not going to get unless I explain some things. And if there are those of you who read the Bible, the Holy Bible, and other prophecies, then you know of me in one form or another. But with that being said, I just want to reiterate something for everybody. I really, technically, truly am not bad. I do not belong to Satan. I belong to God. And furthermore, so many of you have been mistaught, misguided, and misled so long, for such a long time. It's like you're all been reading parts of the book totally wrong. For why would God prepare a place and a way for me if I was technically bad? My son is the male child spoken of and about in the Revelations. Granted, again, so many of you have the wrong view about that. But there are other prophecies other than the Revelations that have also spoke about me. But it is important to realize that we are quickly running out of time. And when I was looking for help, when I was at my darkest point, and things technically were not going the way they should have been going, I reached out for help on so many levels, and still do. And it's sadly disappointing on how little help or assistance I have actually received. For I know for a fact, God, Spirit, and others have been calling out to people for some time now. They have given you word and told you things about me, about the news, and so many, for one reason or another, have failed. For you know not the truth of so many things. The truth about my child, the truth about me. the truth about Satan, the truth about God, the truth about who we all are. And for so many of you out there, some of it is more than what you can bear. Now it's easy to go astray and be misguided and misled. But that is one thing I have not attempted to do. Now that's not to say that Spirit hasn't spoken through me and gotten me to say things that on an average base I wouldn't have said. Because for me, I am someone who tries her best to listen and look for the good in all things. And many people fail to understand so much. Some people automatically want to say because something's haunted that it's bad, that it's evil. Not necessarily. There's a lot that is going on. There's a lot that does go on. Some of them are spirits. Some of them are ghosts. Some are demons. Some are angels. There's many things going on. But then you have to understand there's even more than that. And again, I don't want to get into too much information because it's a lot that some people just can't bear the full extent of the truth. Now, I might not have always done a great job trying to portray the message that was needed to get across. But at least I was doing something over nothing, even with my life situation being the way it is. Technically, losing everything was also a blessing. I mean, granted, I never was one to care about materialistic things, never have been. I mean, certain comforts are nice, but like when my child's father died, and the horrible ways that they all acted, taking my home, excluding us from the funeral, and everything else, I know there is justice. I also know that there's reasons why things have happened. Granted, many of them were just puppets, and they did not completely understand. Some of them were filled with greed. Some of them were filled with evil. To do what they did, not just to me, but to my living child, and what they did to Kelly. I mean, that's a totally another story. But if you look through the videos, I mean, there's stuff there. When I was going through my mourning process, when I was going through my learning process, yes, there are some missing videos. But that was because I got scared at one point because my brother called CPS on me for using a spirit box. Go to find out, my fear was technically unfounded. There was no reason for me to be afraid of such a thing. But when I deleted a bunch of videos, I lost followers, I lost subscribers, I lost video content that I can't get back. That was a battle that I lost. But the war's not over yet, and things are about to pick up heavily. And one more thing I want to say, very important. It does not matter what you want to claim your religious beliefs are. Because if you understood the truth about God and about me, about my child in heaven, and other things, then you would understand that religion is man-made and meant to divide and keep us separate. For man has altered many things for greed and other purposes. But when you realize that religion is man-made, that does not change the fact that God is real. Seriously. So my favorite thing I tell people is that I am of faith, not of religion. Religion is man-made and meant to divide. I am of faith. So with that in mind, I'm going to push one more time, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the editing process for this wonderful video. Another thing to keep in mind that it's been said many times, God is coming. Everything is getting ready to take place and unfold. And one thing that I hear over and over again, are you in or are you out? This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is real. This is my life. This is your life. This is everything. Don't you think God has feelings? Maybe some people should really stop and reconsider some of their own views. Because there's a reason why everything is coming out. I mean, you might have heard warnings about false prophets. But one thing there wasn't said that I haven't found yet is that there would be a false spirit's bride. For it wasn't me that said it first. It was him. He told you. Because for me, I was still learning and going through, getting to know my husband, God. And well, my honeymoon year is almost over. For I know the day that I chose God. I'm not talking about the day that I accepted Jesus Christ into my life. That's a different day. But the day when I truly chose God, that day when I accepted God, I accepted a lot more than what I could have fathomed. That's why he had to train me himself. Because no man could prepare me for everything I went through. Sure, some guidance would have been nice here and there. But what better when a woman relies on her man? Not another human, but on God. When you truly learn to rely on God, that's a special thing. So, with that in mind, this happy little bride is going to do some editing and remain as much as possible without too much pride. Because it is an honor. It really is an honor. Not saying that I'm always on top, but when I am, yeah. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed another one of my Spirit Box messages, because there's still so much more for you all to learn. For I am Gypsy Felice. Felice means Mary. I am Mother Mary. Feliz Navidad. Oh, there's so much hidden information right in front of everybody's face. Anyhow, with that in mind, this Spirit's bride, this wonderful lamb, is going to end this video. Peace out. Oh. Something else to say? So, with that being said, I'll let them have the last word.